Hi guys, Barbara Massa here, and welcome to Sloth Sunday, the first day of the 7-day jungle-themed yoga challenge. Now, today's flow was inspired by my neighborhood sloth, Sienna. So today's practice is going to be gentle and slow moving. A perfect flow for right when you wake up in the morning, right before you go to bed, or just whenever you're feeling stressed or anxious. It's a flow you can return to daily or whenever you need it. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy your practice. I'll meet you on your mat. We'll start in child's pose. Big toes into touch. The knees are wide, maybe the width of the mat. Go ahead and drop the hips back towards the heels and bend forward, extending the arms out long in front of you. Your forehead rests gently on the mat, and we'll close down the eyes here. Today we'll be walking through the 3 steps to living the sloth life. And the first step is to breathe deeply. So just easing into the pose here and connecting to the breath. Breathing mindfully in and out of the nostrils, in and out of the nose. It might feel nice to put a bend into the elbows as you feel your body start to relax even deeper into the ground beneath you. Almost as if you're melting into the earth. Feeling into the cooling and calming sensations of the posture. Inhale deeply. Open the mouth, exhale. Let it all go. Allow that breath, that prana, to really fill you up, to energize you. Feel it entering through the nose, down the back of the throat, filling up the lungs all the way to the pit of the belly. And then exhaling all that energy back out. Inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and walk your hands over to the left, feeling the opening sensation of the right side body as you draw that right hip down towards the mat. And then walking the hands back through center. Taking a deep breath here. And on the exhale, creeping the hands and the fingertips all the way to the right, breathing into that left rib cage. And releasing back to center. Coming up into an all-fours position. Hips stacked above the knees, shoulders stacked above the wrists. On an inhale, drop the belly, looking up at the sky. Exhale, round the spine, looking up at your navel, going for a couple rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, curl and round, moving with your breath. Inhale, belly drops, looking up. Exhale, curl and round, pushing the earth away from you. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, belly drops. Exhale, round the spine. Coming back through a tabletop position. Inhale, right hand rises out to the side, opening up the chest. And exhale, thread it underneath the left, palm face up, bringing your shoulder and head to the floor. Option to leave the left hand where it is. Or, on an inhale, lift it up towards the sky, opening up the left side of the chest. We'll stay here for the inhale. And exhale, pressing the left hand back down into the ground as you untwist. And inhale, right arm comes back up and out. And releasing back to center and switching sides. Left arm comes out and up, opening up the chest. And exhale, threading it underneath the right. Keeping the hips in one line, option to lift that right arm up and out, twisting open. And on an exhale, pressing into the right hand and untwisting as the left arm reaches out and up, opening up the chest. And releasing back through tabletop. Bring the sit bones back to the heels, sitting Japanese style. Take the left hand out and the right hand all the way up and over. Side bend through the right side body. And exhale, back through center. Inhale, swap sides. And exhale, back to center. Interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale as you open up the chest, maybe looking up at the sky for a small back bend. Option to come up onto the knees, lift the hips away from the heels. And releasing. Walking the hands forward, hips to heels, transitional child's pose. Bring the weight into the hips, sinking back. Fingers spread nice and wide, forehead to the earth. Maybe shifting your head from side to side, giving yourself a nice forehead massage. Inhale. Open the mouth, exhale. Let it go. Now the second step to living the sloth life is to move slowly. So slowly shift forward onto the forearms, palms face up. Knees slide back behind you, coming into Sphinx pose. Pubic bones press into the mat. The heart shines forward. And we'll take a couple breaths here. And releasing down. Fingertips come to the outside edge of the mat. We're going to undulate through some cobra. So inhale, lift the chest, head comes last. Exhale, release. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift, moving with your breath. Exhale, releasing. Last one, inhale, lifting up. And exhale, releasing back down to the mat. Bring the hands in underneath the forehead and we'll come into a half frog. So you're going to bring that right knee up along the side body. Keep the head down, just feeling into the right side of the hips. Seeing if you can bring the hips down into the mat, opening up a little more. And seeing if you can lift that knee up as high as it will go. From here, tuck under the back toes, lifting all the way up. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, coming into your lizard. Just shifting the weight here from side to side, feeling into it. And checking back in with your breath. And if it feels right, slowly lower your forearms, keeping your back flat and your head in line with your spine. Option to tuck the back toes, coming up onto the ball of that left foot as you straighten the left leg. Breathing in to wherever you are. And coming back onto the hands, untucking the left toes, dropping the knee to the mat. Heel toe the right foot in towards the center, coming into a low lunge. Lift the chest. Fingertips can come out beside you, or hands can rest gently on that right knee. And finding some gentle movements as you work your hips towards straight, bringing that left hip forward and that right hip back. Maybe you want to sweep the hands up to the sky. Gentle back bend as you look up. Fingertips frame the front foot as you shift back into half splits, half monkey god pose, flexing through the front right foot and trying to get your back knee underneath your hip or slightly bent behind it. Working on drawing your right hip back and down to the floor. Inhale as you lift your torso, and exhale as you bend your knee back into a low lunge. Tuck the left toes, lift the knee. Place the weight into your left hand and open the right wing up to the sky for a little twisted lunge. Right side chest revolves open towards the sky. We'll take an inhale here. And exhale, right hand comes back to the mat. Untuck the left toes, left knee releases down. Heel toe that right foot over to the left so the shin is parallel to the front edge of the mat, setting up for pigeon pose. Your front foot is flexed. The back leg is straight out behind you and you're pressing into the top of that back foot. Option to put a block under the front hip here for support. You can stay here or slowly lower the chest towards the floor, keeping the sternum moving forward to lengthen the spine. Resting on the forearms for support, or if the flexibility is there for you, go ahead and shift forward, resting the forehead onto the floor. Close down the eyes and just breathe into the posture. Noticing any thoughts that may arise and gently releasing them, letting them wash away like the waves in the ocean. From here, roll onto the right hip, bringing that left leg up and around on top of the right, knees stacked on top of one another for cow face. Maybe you stay here, or on an exhale, slowly crawl the hands forward, resting onto the forearms. If you're looking for a deeper stretch, go ahead and move those ankles up forward towards the front of the mat. Or maybe move them in closer towards the body if you're finding it to be a little too intense. We'll inhale here and exhale. Now we'll go for a little fun transition. So from here, lift your knees off the mat, sitting back onto your bum. Bring your right arm back behind you. Now keep your feet where they are as you slowly circle over to the right, doing a complete 360, and landing with your right leg now on top of the left as we find cow face on the other side. Taking a few breaths here and just breathing into the pose. Bringing your ankles out to your own degree. Maybe shifting forward onto your forearms. And just breathing here. Come back up onto the hands and slowly roll back onto your back. Straighten through the right leg, hugging your left knee into the chest. Your right foot is flexed. Cactus the left arm out to the side. The left knee comes across the body for a supine twist. Taking your gaze over to the left and anchoring down through that left shoulder. The right hand can rest on the left knee, or it can be cactused out to the side as well. We'll take an inhale here. And exhale, releasing back to center. Knees come into the chest, and we'll roll up through a seated position and make our way back into a Sphinx pose. From here, hands come into the center, elbows move out. The forehead rests on the hands, and bring that left knee up and out for half frog. Feeling into the left side of the hips here. Bringing the hips down into the mat, opening up a little bit more. Maybe seeing if you can lift that knee up just a little higher. From here, tuck under the back toes, lifting all the way up. Step your left foot to the outside of your left hand for lizard pose. Shifting the weight from side to side, moving around here, and just doing whatever feels good. Checking back in with the breath, maybe slowing it down, and breathing a little deeper. Maybe slowly lowering your forearms, keeping your back flat and your head in line with your spine. Option to tuck the back right toes, coming up onto the ball of that right foot as you straighten the right leg. Wherever you are, coming back up onto the hands, untucking the right toes, and dropping the knee to the mat. Heel toe the left foot in towards center, coming into your low lunge. Chest lifts, fingertips can come out beside you, or hands can rest gently on the left knee. Finding some gentle movements here as you work on squaring off the hips. The right hip moves forward as the left hip comes back. Option to sweep the hands up to the sky for a gentle back bend as you look up. And fingertips frame the front foot and slowly shift back, finding half splits. The left foot is flexed, trying to get your back knee underneath the hip. Work on drawing your left hip back and down to the floor, feeling an even deeper stretch here. On an inhale, lift your torso, and exhale as you shift forward back into a low lunge. Tuck the right toes, lift the knee, place the weight into your right hand, and open up the left wing, up to the sky, twisted lunge. Revolving that left side chest open to the sky. We'll take an inhale here. And exhale, releasing. Untuck the right toes, right knee releases down. Heel toe that left foot over to the right, shin parallel to the front edge of the mat, setting up for pigeon. Your front foot is flexed, back leg is straight out behind you. Press into the top of that back foot as the toes spread. Option to put a block under the front hip here to modify. And slowly lower the chest towards the floor, keeping the sternum moving forward to lengthen the spine. Using the forearms for support here, or resting the forehead on the floor out in front of you. Closing down the eyes and just breathing into the posture. The goal here isn't to see how far you can get into the posture, but rather to see how much you can let go. Just trying to relax and breathe into it. Now go ahead and roll over onto that left hip, bringing the right leg up and around on top of the left, knees stacked for cow face. Maybe you stay here, or on an exhale, option to slowly crawl the hands forward, resting onto the forearms. Sitting back up. From here, lift your knees off the mat, sitting back onto your bum. Bring your left arm back behind you, keeping your feet where they are, as you slowly circle over to the left, doing a complete 360, and landing with your left leg now on top of the right for cow face on the other side. Maybe shifting forward onto your forearms and breathing here for a couple of breaths. Come back up onto the hands and slowly roll back onto your back. Straighten through the left leg, hugging your right knee into the chest. Cactus the right arm out to the side. Right knee comes across the body, supine twist. Taking your gaze over to the right and anchoring down through that right shoulder. Left hand can rest on the right knee, or it can be cactused out to the side. We'll inhale here. And exhale, releasing back to center. Bringing the knees into the chest and rolling up into a seated position. Extend the legs straight out in front of you. Bring the hands down by your sides as you slowly rock the weight side to side, moving the hips out from underneath you. Flex the toes back towards your face, and on an inhale, lengthen through the spine, shining your heart out in front of you. And on an exhale, hinge forward at the hips, slowly folding. It's okay to have a bend in the knees here. In fact, a little bend will allow you to target the hamstrings rather than to put a strain in the lower back. So on every inhale, think about lengthening that spine and using every exhale to fold forward a little deeper into the pose. Noticing with every breath how you're allowed to elongate a little straighter and deepen a little further within the pose. Inhale, lengthening, and exhale, deepening. On an inhale, slowly lift the chest off of the thighs, and exhale, releasing all the way down onto your mat for your final resting pose, Shavasana, corpse pose. Bringing us to the third and final step to living the sloth life, which is to relax and sleep soundly. Legs extend out in front of you as the feet splay out to either side. Arms rest easy next to the body, palms face up. The shoulder blades draw back down the spine, slight tuck of the chin as you relax and soften throughout the entire body. Just closing down the eyes here and thinking about how you feel now compared to how you felt at the beginning of class. We'll go for a quick body scan, relaxing into the toes and into the feet, into the ankles and the shins and the knees, all the way up the thighs and into the hips, into the pelvis and the pit of the belly, through the chest and the shoulders, down the arms and into the fingertips. Can you relax the neck, the lips, the cheeks, and the eyebrows? Relaxing the muscles behind the eyes, the forehead, and out through the crown of the head, melting into the mat and the ground below you with every breath. Option to stay here for as long as you'd like, for as long as would serve you best today. And when you're ready and willing, bringing some awareness back into the body. Maybe bringing some movements back into the fingers and back into the toes. Gently rolling out the wrists and the ankles. Maybe shifting your head from side to side. And going for a big body yawn. Stretching the arms up above you and the feet all the way away from you. Before slowly rolling up to a comfortable seat, bringing the hands to prayer in front of the chest. I'd like to thank you for showing up today, for sharing your energy with me, and for deciding to do something nice for yourself. Doing something nice for your mind and your body and your soul. There's so much we can learn from nature, and there are some amazing changes headed your way. Bring the thumbs to the third eye. May you be open-minded and ready to receive all that is meant to be. Bring the thumbs to the lips. May everything you have been asking for make its way to you. And bringing the hands in front of the heart, may you feel and give the love that you truly do deserve. Together we say, Namaste.